Hi everyone, this is Nino. It's been a couple weeks since I sent out my introduction for this podcast series within Enchanted Life on my YouTube channel. I've been primarily focusing on my Instagram content, but I did want to come in here and start really tending to this garden space that I have been called to create. And I wanted to come in here because something that I am working on for myself, a journey that I'm on right now, is my surrender journey. So, 3 days ago, I started the Surrender Novena. It is a Catholic prayer that goes on for 9 days, but I'm doing it for 31 days because I really want to anchor in the surrender practice and the art of surrender. This is something that I have found to be incredibly useful when I am particularly worried about something and it has been ruminating in my mind for so long that no amount of journaling and no amount of somatic work is really helping me out. In particular, I have a long distance relationship, and so sometimes I really get in my head about whether or not the pace at which we are going, or whether or not the desires that I have for this relationship are going to happen. And there was a time that I would have really invested so much of my time in the manifestation community of writing out my limiting beliefs and trying to create affirmations that were the opposite of my limiting beliefs, or I would go ham on scripting and affirmations and robotic affirmations even. But I found that that kind of action in my life was leading me to more anxiety. Now, I'm not going to say that manifestation is bad, or that manifestation and controlling your thoughts to a degree or really being intentional about your thoughts is a bad thing. I think these are really great things, but there is a part that is missing for some people, especially people of faith in the manifestation community, where we rely too much on the things that we can do to create the life that we want. And what I have found has been most helpful for me as a Catholic Christian woman, a woman of faith, a believer in Jesus, a daughter of God, is to just surrender the things that I'm having the hardest time with. And when I surrender them, I'm really allowing my body to release the tension. I'm allowing my body to let go of the tendency to ruminate, because I'm giving away the thing that has a stronghold on me by giving it to God instead. And it is a simple thing to do, and we all know that simple does not mean easy, but it is a simple thing to do, to surrender your worries, your desires to God on a daily basis. It only takes a couple of minutes, and it doesn't even need to take that long. Something as simple as, God, I give this to you. Jesus, I give this to you. You take care of it, is all it takes to start loosening the knot that our worries and our desires can have on us. We don't want our desires to become strongholds against us, or things that really cause us to have more anxiety and more stress in our life. It's just not what was meant to happen. Our desires are meant to lead us closer to God, to allow us to really get in touch with the desires that God has for us as well. I truly believe that all of the desires that we have are a compass that leads us to God. And I call them a compass that leads us to God, because it is when we start to try to really get that desire to come alive in this reality that we start to see the limiting beliefs. We start to see what we truly think about the possibility of our desire being granted. And we have to start really working through those things. And we can either try to do it all by ourselves and sometimes cause more delay, or we can surrender what we need to surrender to God and take action where we can take action. surrender is not a passive thing. It is a choice, and it is something that requires you to decide. It is an intention, it's an intentional action to give to God the truth that you're struggling with something. And when we do that, we really can have relational restoration with God, with ourselves, and with our inner realm. A lot of times our desires are also something that brings up something from our childhood that we thought we were incapable of receiving. And other times it brings up some conditioning on what we were taught to believe is true about relationships, about the world, about money, about how easy life gets to be, about how God shows up for us. And these things can be untied and rewoven in accordance with God's will, in accordance with God's original design for his children, if we just give them to God. And so I wanted to come in here and remind you all that surrender is a beautiful choice. Surrender is something that will actually help you in the long run. And letting it go today means it no longer has a strong hold on you, and you will get to enjoy the things that God is creating for you in this life even more, because you gave them, your desires, to God, and are allowing God to really perfect and enhance your original thought. Because I think we just get the seed of a desire and we hold on to the seed rather than letting the seed be tended in the soil and grown with prayer, which is going to be like the oxygen, the water, the sun, sometimes even the extra nutrients that we put in a plant while it's growing to help it grow stronger and more vibrant. And this is really what surrender is doing. You're allowing the seed that is in the soil to really start to take root, to really start to grow from a healthy place, rather than throwing affirmations at it, rather than throwing this forceful energy that maybe causes you to have a plant that grows too fast and now it's too leggy and the roots are not rooted and strong and plump with the way that they need to be. And surrender really lets you get to that point where you're allowing the flower to grow at its pace, but you are still doing the action to take care of it, to tend it, to water it and give it sunshine and all the things that it needs. And this is really what we are invited to in life, and where I've been invited to within my own relationship, because relationships are like anything else in life. They require tending, they require for us to also come to terms with what we're really believing is possible for them, and what we believe about not just ourselves but the other person too. And God can really change the way that you relate in relationships. God can really change your own patterns that maybe were self-sabotaging, or your own patterns of closure that really keep you from entering into a relationship with the fullness of who you are, because you have walls up rather than your heart open. And of course there's another conversation about the appropriateness of having a feminine spine versus boundaries that can either be over boundaried or under boundaried. Again, another conversation. But for right now, my invitation to you, as I've been invited, is to do a surrender practice. Whether you're writing out prayers of surrender for the next 9 to 31 days, or you're doing the surrender novena. Again, I'm on day 3. You can go into my Instagram, where I'm taking some short reels of my reflections on it, and also doing a longer, like 4-minute video on me saying the prayer, the surrender novena prayer, and a short closing prayer with it. If you're interested in that, that'll be there. I may end up uploading them here to YouTube. I'm just not sure about the orientation of the video will obviously not be the landscape that is YouTube preferred, but I'll look into doing that. If you guys are interested, please leave your comments below. Like this video if it was interesting for you. Share, of course, and subscribe. I would really love to get some engagement on this channel and get to know you and get to know what you are going through in life and where you need support. All right, I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye.